I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hi, it's Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis Ellis, joined by my friend Giulio Gallerati. How are you, Giulio?
What's up, dude?
How you feeling about our friendship?
I feel good about it.
Would you, if our friendship were a stock from $1 to $100, what would it be worth right now?
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that.
Okay, you know,
What's our market cap?
Yeah, what's our what sort of earnings reports? How do our employees feel? Do they believe in our friendship? Do they believe in the mission? Are we generous with our friendship?
Yeah.
Do we spread our friendship to even the janitor?
Yeah, we're hiring like crazy.
Who cleans even under the seat of our gender neutral bathrooms?
That IPO is seeming likely.
Yeah.
You know?
Are we about to? Do people sense that we're about to?
It's
go
looking
public?
like the timeline's about to be shorter than what they expected.
Wow.
What's the equivalent of going public as a podcast?
As
starting a
friendship?
Patreon? It's the opposite. It's
Yeah.
reprivatizing.
No, yeah. Starting a Patreon
friendship.
is being bought by a private equity firm.
Right.
Who's going to dust out the cobwebs, fire some of the fat, and then trim the fat. I shouldn't say fire some of the fat.
Trim the fat.
Trim the fat, clean up our books, make sure everything is ship shape.
Interview the employees.
Prep us for...
Reminds me of Office Space. What exactly do you do? Nothing.
Yeah. Well, okay. So things are looking good on the friendship front.
I mean, how do you feel? What do you think?
No, I think our friendship is strong. I have total faith and trust in it. I do. The second that either of us were to do anything remotely dishonest or subversive to the other person, I think the podcast would be in big trouble.
I agree.
And I think we both, well, that's not the reason we're friends, but we realize that our livelihood depends on our friendship.
Right.
Isn't that funny?
It is funny.
We can't afford to fight with each other. We can't afford to not get along.
That's funny, dude. That's very funny.
Oh,
we can't afford it. That is, you know what's funny? I definitely am an even better friend because of that.
I agree.
I
think if a friendship generates income, it strengthens the friendship. There are, let's think about this, right? Human relationships can lead to benefits for both parties in different forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have a friend with benefits, and you're both enjoying
the benefits,
the carnal pleasures of satisfying your lust, right? That's a friend with benefits, right? So You've got the currency of orgasms. Then there's then there might be a friendship for security. Maybe you're friends with someone who's really big and strong, and then that they afford protect, like a prison friendship, right? They afford you protection in the halls, and maybe you smuggle them in
cigarettes,
or like Harry Potter novels, whatever it is somehow. And then there are business relationships that result in this is that, but it's not only a business friendship.
Definitely not. But I would say that I defend your honor harder than I would normally defend someone's honor, because I know that it's important to have a good vibe.
People out there talking shit about me?
No, nobody's talking shit about you, but
who's talking shit?
Nobody's talking shit.
How are you defending my honor?
I'm not saying I'm defending you. I'm defending your honor. There's a big distinction.
Who's coming at my honor?
Nobody.
Who's saying that guy has no honor?
Dude, I gas you up in a way that I wouldn't normally gas somebody up, because it's important that we have a good vibe friendship.
Someone comes to you and says, fuck that Francis guy. Someone has said that.
No, dude.
Oh, I bet they have.
Sometimes people will ask me open-ended questions.
Ooh,
They'll
now
be
we're
like-
getting to the thick of it.
They'll be like, "How's Francis? How is it working with him?"
And you know what they mean by that.
No,
Have you discovered his rotten core yet?
There's an opportunity for me to like.
Drag me.
There's an opportunity there to drag you, which
You could
I would
say-
never. I'm not going to
You
do
could
anyway.
say, oh, he's elitist. He is a little bit, he thinks he's arrogant,
Dude, no.
narcissistic. But you don't,
I not that I ever would,
because we
obviously.
got good ads this month.
Dude, no, I'm just like your fucking champion, dude. I'm out there fucking teaching the good gospel of you. I'm like a Francis's missionary. They have sent me to another part of the world to tell people how great Francis is. If they don't yet know, they will now know because I'm there.
That's very sweet. I appreciate
you're
that.
welcome.
You know something? I never have to do this for you.
Dude,
Because nobody ever says anything bad about you.
I know, but dude, no one says anything bad about you too either.
But they ask that question.
They ask-
They're hoping.
No. They ask me an open-ended question. If they ask me an open-ended question about you, I will always give an unnecessarily glowing review, as opposed to just being like, he's good. I'd be like, he's great.
Wow.
I'm serious.
So they come up to you and they say,
dude, I'm sure people ask you that about me.
behind his, that front of kindness and, he's a generous laugher and he appears for all intents and purposes to be an all-American boy, but there must be some sort of
Dude, I don't think that I'm expecting.
insidious marbling of his meat.
Dude, I think that anybody asking me that question, I would say almost always is asking it in a completely curious way.
Oh.
There's no angle.
Yeah, people don't know me.
But
People don't know me at all.
But you'll get the average comedian who's clearly had a bad week or month or life, who's coming up and they want to talk shit in general. So that is the type of person that will bait you no matter who you're talking about.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's never, and again, dude, people know better than to come up to me and be shitting on you. That would be insane. You know what I mean? Obviously I have your back. So if anyone were to shit on you, they wouldn't be doing it to me.
No, they're not going to come and then fling the shit.
There's no, yeah.
They're just going to come and say, is that
Is that shit?
Is that shit? Is there some shit
Exactly.
on Francis's shoe?
Exactly.
On his soul? Okay, speaking of, I debated for quite some time if I was going to tell you this.
Oh, wow.
Something really embarrassing has happened recently to me, twice.
What?
When was the last time you shit your pants?
Oh, my God.
And I have no intention of turning this into some sort of toilet humor podcast. I don't like that. I think it's low-hanging fruit. But this has happened to me twice in the last couple of months, and it hadn't happened for probably 15 years.
Have you had some change in your diet or something?
Yeah.
You've been eating more fibrous?
No, I had two things that I ate that resulted in a less sort of solid consistency, and then I got cocky.
I got you. I know.
This happened yesterday.
Oh God, were you at home?
I was in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and dad came to visit, and they brought a bushel of apples picked from their apple tree. Now, this is an apple tree that was on the property when we bought the property 25 years ago. It's a feral apple tree.
Right.
So the apples look like the sort of apples that the witch in Snow White would have, she takes the bite and then instantly the world changes. I can't really remember. But it looks like
She
a
gives
perfect
it to Snow
apple.
White.
She takes the bite and then it instantly transforms into this sort of maggot
Infested,
riddled
yes,
apple.
yes,
and then
yes.
she sees that the witch is actually this
Witch.
old woman with gnarled fingers and warts on her nose and stuff like that. So these apples are imperfect. They've got knuckles.
Okay, so there are
My mom,
risks.
my mom brought me like 12 to 15 of these apples in a bag. And she was like, you can't eat these.
So what were they for?
Make them into applesauce.
Ah,
So my mom basically brought us ingredients.
so you cook them and then
Yeah, you
burn
and
out
then
the
we have to
bacteria.
cut them down. You have to peel them, but you have to peel them so much more than you might think because you've got to cut out all of the
shit.
the poisoned points. And so poor Sierra, did this for me and made two. It's really easy to make applesauce. You just cut the apples up and then you put them into a pot and you sort of stew them with some cinnamon, maybe a little sugar.
That's it?
Yeah.
You don't have to put water in it or anything?
Well, eventually it sort of boils down into a mush and then you stir it a couple times, whatever.
Crazy.
But we did that. So we have this huge thing of applesauce. And
Got it.
I loved applesauce as a kid. I haven't eaten it too much lately.
Got it.
So I've been eating it because whenever there's a home cooked, home plucked sort of treat, I feel guilty if we throw any of it out.
Yes.
This is a piece of home.
Not to mention, you can sort of like applesauce typically comes in a very small portion.
Yeah.
Probably on purpose.
Yeah.
Because too much of it will result in rushing and then.
Yeah. Well, this is what happened. So I ate a bunch the night before. I woke up and I went to the bathroom 3 times before 11 a.m., which is when I knew today's going to be a tough day.
Yes.
And then I had to run and get COVID tested.
For what?
I had to get a PCR test, not a rapid test,
Are you going somewhere?
to go and perform at Rider
Oh,
University.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that school?
I have, yeah.
I did this gig there.
They have a Division I sports, right?
They do.
Yeah, I think we used to play them maybe.
They have Division I sports, but they
Yeah.
don't have football.
Right.
They have, soccer and
Baseball.
their big team is swimming, apparently.
Got it. Got it.
But really nice people.
I'm sure.
But I want to get to that in a second because I had to get this PCR test. And of course, PCR test, the fastest you can get the results is 6 to 8 hours. So I had to go early in the morning. And I went up to Brooklyn Heights to a place, Cube Care.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
First one in there,
So wait, but did they
Care Cube.
make you do it at Care Cube
No,
or Cube? Oh, because
but that was the fastest turnaround I could find.
interesting. And anytime I've had to get a PCR test and the place is like, go here, it's always that place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway,
Yeah, it was $100.
dude, that's fucked
I mean, it was $225. Insurance paid $125 of it, but
should have gone to one of those tents.
yeah, but I think those are those PCR
They have
tests?
PCRs too.
And how fast is their turnaround?
I think it's similar, 6 to 8.
Damn, bro.
I know. Yeah.
But they also
For the no, but it was 48 back in the day when there was a ton of them. Now it's faster, right? Or is this a reference from before? Because Chris just said it takes 48.
I did it like a month ago, and it was still like 48 hours.
Oh, really? Well,
For the PCR, but
I
they
need
have
to take
rapids.
one soon. I need to figure that out. Okay, we'll get to that later too.
Okay. Well, the other thing is you go into this Care Cube thing and you fill out all your info, and then they take your vitals and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Like an appointment.
my blood pressure was borderline
Low or high?
high,
Oh,
which it has never been in my life.
getting old,
and-
pal.
Well, they were like, what's the term? You're borderline something. There's a term.
I have that too for other things. I don't know what the term is. though.
I had 2 reasons where I was like, first of all,
like you're stressed.
I'm worried I'm going to shit my pants, which is troubling me and causing my blood pressure to probably go up. And 2, I had a big business day,
right.
a major thing that I was pitching.
Hypertension.
Hypertension.
Ah,
They were like,
yes.
you're borderline hypertension.
And you have already shit your pants.
Well, I had not yet. I
Oh,
had
you
not
had-
yet.
Oh,
But
that's crazy.
and thirdly, I had driven up to Brooklyn Heights and parked in front of a meter, and I
Oh,
had
yeah.
paid. I'd hit the 15-minute button up 4 or 5 times, thinking surely this will be done in 45 minutes. But they took so long,
yeah,
even though I was the
dude.
first person in there,
that sucks.
that by the time I kept thinking, well, should I run back to the car and pay more? And no, because then I'll miss my appointment. And now I'm running out of the window of time for the 6 to 8 hour turnaround time for the test to get me in time to perform. So all of these factors
Jesus.
are swirling to take my blood pressure. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I didn't even want to know my blood pressure. And I get my test done. I run back. I leave and I start jogging back to the car thinking, I don't want to get a ticket.
Got it.
And I'm jogging and
It just
whoopsie daisies.
slid out.
No, it was like
Did you release?
I released
You released.
and thought everything was going to be fine.
And
But
you
I
were
must have
mistaken.
released just as I was planting a foot.
You're right.
And the shock of the sidewalk,
Boom.
because I was not wearing decent running shoes to cushion my
Mhm.
arch.
Mhm.
And I think that is what jolted
Got it.
and again, I'm sorry to be disgusting
And-
because this is disgusting.
You know what, man? I will say this. For the first time in the history of our podcast, this would not have been a good time to have been wearing bird dogs.
And yet I was. And yet I was. And I will say that the underwear liner did provide a little bit of, at least it armored the beautifully nice pants from me and my disgusting 4-year-old habit, or not habit, but incident.
So, but did you choose to save them and put them in the wash?
I did.
Okay.
I can't
respect
light a
it.
pair of bird dogs
I know.
on fire and drop them in the river.
I know. You can't do it.
No, they're too valuable. They're too good. So I was wearing my bird dogs, and I knew immediately too. Boy, that's where you're like, oh boy, nothing to do now. I have to just get home and hopefully.
Your day just got terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And then I threw them in the washing machine, and you got to protect your bird dogs. They are the best pants to wear.
The best item.
Yeah, the best pants to wear. If you feel like you've had applesauce lately, or you're worried a little bit about your bowel movements and your control over them, buy a pair of bird dogs. We love their pants, shorts, joggers. Birddogs.com. Promo code OOPS gets you a whistling football with your first purchase. Go to birddogs.com today. So yeah, that happened. And the reason I sort of bring this up is that it also happened like 3 months ago. I don't know, with a pair of shorts, similar kind of deal.
I would say, theoretically speaking, that is kind of a short interval.
Oh my God. Given that
I feel like that's not an annual occurrence.
it had
for most
not
people.
happened. It had not happened for
Many
since
years,
high
right?
school.
Yeah.
When again I was like, it wasn't my fault. I was sick.
Right.
And the first time Sierra like the one that happened 3 months ago, she discovered it.
Oh no.
And because I didn't know, I had taken my shorts off. I didn't know,
Oh my
and
God,
she saw it,
dude.
and it's like it's one of those things where.
Oh my God.
That's a hard thing. I mean, you guys don't even talk about
We don't even talk about it.
going to the bathroom.
We still
in
never
the toilet,
We still never have.
let alone in your clothing.
We've never discussed it.
Yeah, and so imagine Hill Dog, getting out of bed in the morning and discovering that the shorts you had
Dude,
discarded to get into the bed were.
I might never be able to look at her again. Dude, we actually have a code name for it now. Like, for example, if a dog has gone to the bathroom on the sidewalk, she calls it bad boy.
Oh, that's cute.
She was like out for the bad boy. And I looked at
Yeah.
her, I'm like, oh God.
You know that this is going to come crashing down on you too, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think
Because
so?
you can't avoid it. Bathroom stuff happens
I know,
to
but
couples that live together. And someday soon,
we have separate bathrooms though, dude.
oh, buddy, you're going to
Doesn't
be
matter.
on vacation. You're going to go to fucking Cancun or something.
Hit the lobby.
Oh, my God. Really?
Yes.
You, what if you don't have time?
You always have time.
No, you do not.
You do.
I have dumped my pants twice in the last 3 months. You don't have time.
Okay, but both times you chose, like, you
I
didn't
didn't
realize
choose
you were
to do
choosing.
that.
You didn't realize you had chosen, but if you had held it in, you would have been able to maybe make it to a receptacle.
All right. Well, my God. Look, I mean, someday soon, I'm telling you, the two of you are going to have some kind of moment where, and you know what? I hope it's simultaneous.
It's, do you hope it's
I hope it's a dual affliction, almost
Oh,
like
wow.
that scene from Bridesmaids, where out of nowhere the two of
it
you
just becomes romantic?
have been presenting this like pristine, Barbie and Ken life, where we don't have buttholes, we don't have, and next thing you know, you two are like both pooping in sinks next to each
Oh
other.
God, dude.
I don't even know where.
I really hope not.
And it's gonna happen, and I want to hear about it. Not to be weird, but look, the point is, when that first one happened, Sierra has kind of joked about it with me, and I had no choice but to laugh about it, and it's very funny. But it's so mortifying.
I can picture her doing that, and it's making me laugh.
Yeah, because like if I give her any crap about anything,
She's just super straightforward.
yeah, she'll just bring that up. It's the trump card.
Like she will literally ask, she will be like, did you shit your pants? And then we'll start making fun of you immediately
Yeah.
after. But
I
not
have asked
carrying
her,
on.
interestingly, I've asked her not to, not to bring it up with our friends, but now I'm telling it on the podcast. So what the fuck do I
You've
care?
told it now to all of your friends.
Yeah, because that is really, it's really quite mortifying.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really bad.
It's as bad as it gets.
It's so bad.
It's bad.
That said, once this one happened yesterday, we were in need of a laugh. Yesterday was a tough day. It was really stressful.
Oh, so you had this gig last night?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So all that happened yesterday.
Damn.
And I debated whether or not to tell her,
Yeah.
and I told her, and she laughed uproariously, which is worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
That's
to
great.
deliver that level of joy, especially coming out
That's
of
great,
a tough morning. We were both pretty stressed about work and some stuff, and the wedding and all that. We had a tough conversation about some budget stuff and guest list nonsense, and so I decided to tell her, and it had the desired effect. I don't want her. I wonder if it will affect her view of me, her attraction to me. Is that what you worry about?
Yeah.
You guys are just going to keep maintaining this, illusion.
This like honeymoon phase illusion. I mean, yeah, man. Like it just is like a thing that it's not great, And I'm not.
What's your fear?
I'm not. It's like an embarrassing, gross.
But it
thing.
shouldn't be.
I agree. You're right.
Let me ask you this. Last episode, we talked about having children, right? Delivering babies, labor.
A few episodes ago, yeah.
Oh, a couple episodes
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Sorry. And we got some great feedback, by the way.
We did.
Informative messages. Thank you, all of you.
We learned quite a bit.
We did. And I want to even share one of them in a second. But that, like, let's say, fast forward to the day that you and Hill Dog maybe someday having a child, your first child.
Yes.
And you're holding her hand, and she's, pushing, and you're encouraging her. What happens if, she poops herself? Because I've heard women do that. They're pushing so hard.
Dude, it's fine. Like, of course, in that situation, it's fine. For me to even, I'm not even acting like I have the authority to say that it's fine. Of course, it's fine. I'm not even allowed to talk about it. I'm not even allowed.
You would never bring it up again.
Never. Dude, it's so funny. I just sounded like, I always joke that I have my adopted family in the city. He says never like that. He goes, never.
Never.
And never, bro. Never. I would never, ever bring it up. Of course not. Fucking
So it's a don't
mother of
ask.
my child.
You two maintain a don't ask, don't tell policy about bodily function.
Correct. And actually, we've been having problems lately because my bathroom has the best mirror. And sometimes she'll just wander into there. And I'm like, what do you think you're doing? I'm like, that's a no-go zone. You're not allowed to go in there. I was like, well, you want to trade bathrooms? We can. She's like, ugh, I just assumed if the door's open, it's fine for me to go in there.
Yeah,
That's not, she doesn't talk like that.
Why wouldn't she?
So
assume
the
that?
door is now permanently closed.
You're telling me that the two bathrooms in your apartment are sovereign territory?
Yes. If I want to go into hers, I need to ask. And I would never do it during a time where I assumed that she would need bathroom privacy for an extended period of time. And my bathroom,
That is strict.
I need the freedom to have eaten too much applesauce at any given time.
But what if your bathroom opens up to the common area, the living room?
Correct.
So then what happens do you leave the door closed if you've destroyed it?
Well, I don't destroy it. Let's just assume that I've never even used it. And if I have, Bro, she listens
I'm
to
glad,
this, dude.
Chris. Are you with me at all on this?
Guys, I
This
don't
sounds
think-
stressful.
It
I'm
does
getting
great.
stressed for
You've
you.
gotta break the seal on this.
Dude, the seal is broken. We have our own sovereign territory,
That
like you
is not
said.
a broken seal.
I feel that the
That is
seal,
a quarantine.
the seal has been
You
preserved.
have quarantined your bathrooms from each other. I find that very stressful.
That would have been such a good word if this came up in 2019.
Yeah.
Like before, right? Like quarantine would have been Francis's vocab word of the day. But
Yeah.
instead, dude, I listen, I get it, but like we have separate bathrooms for a reason. She has no business going in there. Our mirrors in our bedroom are the best mirrors, dude. Like even when I'm looking my worst, I look in that mirror and I fucking look great. I'm like, dude, hell yeah, bro.
By the way, the trick to a good mirror is just low lighting. That's kind of what I found. Right? I know.
That could be it. That
Yeah.
could be it. But yeah, dude. So she is not allowed in there, and she's been playing with fire by just fucking wandering in there.
Wow.
And yeah,
You keeping drugs in there or something?
dude, it's like Hill House. Remember in Hill House, there's the red door,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. It was you could always go in the whole time, but whatever. It's starting to become that kind of thing, like a Sixth Sense, the doorknob that doesn't open, type of thing. That's what I want it to be for her.
Wow. Goodness me.
Could I tell a quick shit story?
Please.
Please,
Have you
Chris.
guys heard me sneeze? I don't know if I've sneezed in front of you, but
I
You
imagine
told
that it's
us that
loud.
your sneezes are really dramatic.
yeah, very powerful, kind of like my laugh. I get them from my dad. So one
Chris
day,
is powerful with all of his sort of human things. His laugh, his hugs, his sneezes, apparently.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
surprising.
yeah.
so one morning I'm sitting at my desk and I'm editing, and I just had my coffee and I just sneezed really hard, and then it just came out the other end, and I didn't know that happened.
You snarfed.
Yeah, I
You-
sneezed so hard I shit
Snarted.
myself.
Yeah, snoot. Snoop. I don't know what it would be.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know immediately?
Oh yeah, I felt it like come. It was like it just fell out. Like after I sneezed, it was just like. bloop, you know?
Wow.
And
Oh,
I
man.
threw out my underwear, went to the bathroom,
Yeah.
and cleaned it
You
up.
gotta toss out the undies.
You strike me as somebody that could hurt yourself sneezing.
Yeah.
Like you could hurt your back or something.
Or like get a
My
hernia.
dad-
Because I've
he-
heard about that with people.
My dad
Yeah.
sneezes hard. Yeah,
You could legitimately crack a vertebrae or something.
I don't know
like
about that. I hope not. That's kind of
Yeah.
scary.
Be careful, Chris.
Mm.
Yeah.
Take your Allegra D.
Mm.
Well, dude, I don't know if you have started thinking specifically into holiday gift giving yet.
I have been. I'm always. This is such a stressful thing for me
Yeah.
because the people in my life either don't care about gifts or are very particular.
You know what I do? And this is really an awesome thing. I force myself to buy over 75% of all my gifts during Black Friday weekend.
Really?
Yep. I sit down at the computer in an afternoon and I sit there and I buy everyone's shit.
Wow.
And granted, of course, you feel when it's like a girlfriend, I'm obviously gonna get her a few things. So I like do that a little bit more over time. But like it's nice to get the like because if you're scrambling a few days before the holidays, that's when you like end up buying, you know, a less significant relative a way more expensive gift than you wanted to just because you couldn't think of anything else.
You're right.
And I find that to be an unacceptable outcome. You can be thoughtful and cost effective. We can talk more about the S triangle later. But dude, a cool gift, which is a company that we're now working with, is called Skylight Frames.
Whoa. Yes. They sent me a version of their product, and it's pretty sick.
It's sick, dude. I mean, it's a photo frame that you can update instantly by email from anywhere. And it's pretty cool, man.
It's a digital photo frame.
Digital photo frame. And, you know, over the past year, even, you know, I think that we all now appreciate the holidays even more and family time even more. I feel like this is a nice gift that ties all these things in. You can send photos to Skylight very effortlessly. And everyone in the family can just email them to your personal Skylight email address, and then they'll pop up in seconds,
Yeah.
which is super cool. It has a black frame and with a white mat, so it looks like a real photo frame. That's kind of like a beautiful, sleek touch to your home, and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love it, they'll offer you a full refund.
It's really cool. I mean, you get, I like sort of whatever non-digital photos as well, but you don't have the variety.
The
That
variety
picture
is
just
fun.
sits there and you stop looking at it. Whereas to have the ability to change the photo
Yeah.
with a click of a button,
Yeah.
you get to really mix things up, and it spruces things up. It's fun.
And this is a gift I feel like that parents will really like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
easy enough for them to use. Because I
Mhm.
know that sometimes I'm like, are my parents going to be able to figure this out?
Yeah.
You know, my dad has trouble with even seeing my texts, but I think that they could definitely handle this. So now as a special offer, you can get $10 off of your purchase of a skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com, enter the code OOPS. That's right. To get $10 off your purchase of a skylight frame, just go to skylightframe.com, enter the code OOPS. And that's spelled SKYLIGHTFRAME.com, promo code OOPS. Get in there. Dude, I want to hear about this college gig, man. I want to preface this. Sorry, I asked you a question and then continued talking. That's a bad quality. But I
Sorry.
want to give a good preamble here. There's nothing better than a college gig, in my opinion.
Are you serious?
Yes. They're so random.
They are so random.
You never know what the setup's going to be. You might be in a fucking 10,000 person theater, or you might be standing with a popcorn machine next to your head as it pops and kids come and serve themselves popcorn in the middle of your show.
Did you have that?
I've experienced something similar to that.
Did I tell you
Did that happen to
about
you
the
too?
nacho station?
Dude, there you go.
It was make your own nachos.
There you go.
And the table was in front of the stage.
There you go, dude. And that's the beauty of it.
That was
And that's their fault. If the show-
Eastern Connecticut State
Willimantic.
University.
Willimantic, Connecticut,
Which is, yes, exactly.
which is in what was formerly the heroin capital of America.
Willimantic?
Willimantic. I don't know
Wow.
if that's still the case, but real dodgy. But dude, yeah. And at that point, it's this. If the show doesn't go well, it's not your fault, bro.
Exactly.
Which is amazing. It takes all the pressure completely off. Anyway, I would like to hear about your gig.
Yeah. Well, you've really you've brought up some really good points. College gigs are so weird, and they are such an absolute. It's like reaching into a bag of Jelly Belly beans.
Yeah, you just
with
have
your
no
with
idea.
a blindfold on. You don't know
You have
what
No idea.
it could be. Absolutely terrible, or it could be really fun. And fortunately, they're usually pretty good money, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
why I do them, because
Which is why they're even better.
they're always organized by like the student, board for student life activity,
Right.
and they have these crazy budgets, and it's always like the college, is throwing money at these people to provide events that are an alternative to like frat parties.
And it's discretionary spending. So if
Yeah.
they don't spend it all, they don't get as much. So they have to spend it all.
Yeah, so you get paid very well. So
It's the best.
that in and of itself, but you also like I went to this gig, it's an hour and a half away. I'm driving down there. I don't have a feature.
Mm.
I don't have an
Oh,
opener.
shit. Raw dog
Right?
it?
So exactly. So I'm
It's
thinking
tough,
I'm
dude.
like, all right, this could be me just holding my breath for an hour until I collect my paycheck.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just treading water
Absolutely.
up there, knowing they're not going to like me. They don't know who I am. They're not
Mhm.
fans. They're not even necessarily fans of comedy.
Totally.
They don't know they're just like,
They just had nothing else to do.
last week they saw a magician. The week
Yeah.
before that, they saw the 14th runner-up from America's Got Talent
Right.
with their dog. Like, whatever the hell. They're just here
Yep.
because they're not in a frat.
Because it was free and they had nothing better to do. It's like a casino show almost.
Yeah.
A much more bright-eyed, hopeful casino show.
Yeah. So this group was actually, I kind of lucked out because, first of all, the young lady, I think her name is Lauren. Let me check because I want to give her a shout out because she was awesome. The young lady who organized, yeah, it's Lauren. The whole thing was, she's like the head of the student council for entertainment and life, whatever. And she's a fan. She was like, she listened to Oops,
Oh, great.
and she had seen me before on the
Awesome.
road.
Awesome.
So she was like, had sought me out as an
Great.
act.
Great.
And then, I got there early, fortunately, and I asked her a whole lot of questions about life at Rider University, what the Greek life is like, what, who's cool on campus, where the kids come from, all of that, the sports situation. And she debriefed me and gave me a full download, which, then you get to go on stage armed with a little bit more local knowledge.
And it really helps to try to directly connect with them too, because they're usually not super experienced comedy audiences.
Well, that's it. And also, we only had about 24 kids there,
right.
and the room was enormous.
Yeah.
but they only had about like 100 seats set up.
Uh-huh.
But then of those 100 seats, only 24 kids were there.
I almost prefer that.
I was fine with
Because
it.
you can connect, you can take your time, you can go person to person. When it's bigger, it's a little harder to like keep them in the mix.
Yeah. So I was doing, just coming in and out of my act, doing crowd work, talking to kids, getting, like some of their info about what frats they were in, whatever. And it was a really fun group of people. The kids were great. They weren't what you can get at a college gig, which is like kids who think they're better than you,
Yeah.
who think you're out of touch, who think you're corny
Mm-hmm.
from the moment you get there. They're not going to give you a chance.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sitting at a comedy club having paid a ticket watching the stage with a drink in their hand.
Right.
That's not what it is.
Right.
It's a step, barely a step above like an alcohol awareness seminar that they're forced to take for orientation. So the kids were great. I have nothing but super positive things to say about Rider University. Went down, did the gig.
Where is it again? In Jersey?
It's like not far from Trenton.
Okay. It's like far-ish.
Hour and 25 minutes.
Okay.
And didn't have traffic in either direction.
Beautiful.
And came right back and
The
was
best.
like, man, that was a great gig.
to
quick and
give you
easy.
guys an idea of how good the money can be for these, it's like I have made more money opening for one show at a college than I have made doing headlining entire weekends.
Absolutely.
The money can be so good, and I would way rather go perform for a bunch of people who don't care, or to have no idea what I'm gonna get myself into, or to have like a bad setup. I would so much rather do that than an entire weekend of shows.
Yeah, really?
Dude, all day long. I would much rather. Yeah.
Huh.
Frees up my time more. Like
Interesting.
I don't, and granted doing weekend shows is great, but you're doing, 5 shows
Yeah.
versus 1.
Dude, one time I flew to Roanoke
Oh, word.
in Virginia.
Yeah, it's called, the nickname is the Big Lick, right?
Is that right?
Yeah, there's this lake.
I did Roanoke
Can you look that up,
College.
Chris?
The thing too is like you drive or you take an Uber onto the campus and you don't know where the hell to go.
I know.
They're like, do you see the Jimmy T. Roosevelt
Yeah.
Center for the Performing Arts? No, it's dark. I can't read the Latin script on the brick building. Like, what do you want me to? I don't know where anything is.
Oh my God. That's
Um,
fucking great.
So, whatever.
I like Roanoke.
Roanoke was cool. They were cool. That was in the student center. That was like a packed show. That was like 150 kids came and was
Sick.
really solid. The worst gig I've ever done was the Eastern Connecticut State.
Yeah. The nacho machine.
The nacho machine. Literally heard someone in the audience turn to his friend and go, "This guy is so corny."
Oh my God. Dude, I don't give a fuck about that. Dude.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Did it hurt you?
No,
Fuck it.
it's a money grab.
100%.
You're not building a fan base from these kids.
Absolutely.
They don't care about anything. They certainly don't care about you.
Imagine
know?
you just flip on him. You're like, oh, I'm corny, huh?
Yeah, right.
Dude, I'm cool, dude.
Screaming at them.
You start showing him girls you fucked up with. Look at her, dude.
That said, as at 32, performing for these kids, I felt my age.
Right.
A decade, 10, 11, 12 years between me and these kids is quite a gulf.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we don't hang around college kids.
Right.
And I felt it much more even here than I did at that frat party I went to.
The Puke Olympics.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Because those guys were like embracing me a little.
Right,
They were like,
right.
hey, you're cool, you're comic,
Come on,
whatever.
dude,
They
come
came to the
through.
show. They were cool. These people were just like, who's this old man yelling at us?
Dude, I remember this the other day. I got a really weird gig one time. I forget. It might have been from like a gig website, but I got hired to give a fake talk to a company, and and it was a prank. So the guy's like, I want you to fuck with them. He's like, so, and it was one of those things where like you're doing exercises. So it's like we're gonna do And I started making them like interact with each other in a kind of weird way. And it was pretty funny, dude. I was like, I want you guys all to stand up. And now look at the person next to you and just give them a big hug. And I forget what exactly I did, but it was like 10 or 15 minutes of this. And like people were super weirded out. And then when it was revealed that it was a prank, like they didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah.
Like they weren't annoyed. They just like were like, that wasn't that funny. But like the guy who had orchestrated it thought it was hilarious.
Right.
And he was right, dude. It was hilarious. I was like, dude, this is funny. This is a funny thing you chose. Maybe I was too young to sell it or something. Like maybe, I don't know. But dude, it was awesome.
That's great.
Love a weird gig, dude.
Yeah. Love a weird gig.
Well, dude, it sounded like it was an action-packed day.
Yeah, sure was.
I'm not surprised that you had a little hypertension going on.
Yeah.
And what I would suggest getting in on some dadgrass action, dude.
Ooh, that would have helped wipe away any of the stains that I'd created.
Dadgrass, mom
Wash
grass,
away my worries. Yeah.
all good products. I think the mom grass is a little more uppity,
Yeah.
right?
Upper.
A little more of an
Uplifting, yeah.
uplifting. But dude, it's great stuff and smokable CBD. It comes in like a pre-rolled pack the same way, a little more THC incentive
That's it.
or in intensive
Mm-hmm.
product might, but it is all CBD. So you get to enjoy all the spoils of CBD without having to get super high.
Boom. Love that.
Dude, it's really, really good
I've
stuff.
become a huge fan. This stuff is, it's so well packaged. It's so well presented. And it's so easy. And it makes you feel great.
You don't get too high. It's
without
amazing.
being totally out of your head.
Yeah, man, it's legal, organic, smokable hemp that relaxes your body, mellows your mind. 100% organic pre-rolled joints, very low in THC, very high in CBD. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Definitely recommend this for a gift, for a loved one. It's really good stuff. Right now, Dadgrass is offering our listeners 20% off of your first order. When you go to dadgrass.com/oops, go to dadgrass.com/oops for 20% off your first order. That's dadgrass.com/oops. Dude, I've been thinking about this. I'm really fascinated by the idea of large scale pranks.
You are a
I'm a prankster. And some of these, but like imagine this. Imagine a prank where somebody thinks that someone else is filming a fucking comedy special or something. Okay. So say you're pranking, or say I'm pranking Hill Dog. Siri fucking piping up.
Julia's
My
Apple
watch
Watch
loves to just-
constantly thinks it's such an attention whore.
It only happens when I'm doing the pod.
Sorry, were you talking to
Fuck
me?
off, Siri. But dude, so imagine I do this. I would never do this to Hill Dog because she hates pranks to begin with. It would be cruel. I would never do this to her. The idea of this prank is funny. Okay. So I'm like, Francis is shooting a comedy special for whatever. And it's going to be in this huge venue. And she's like, oh my God, great. So we go to like the whole thing. Everybody's acting like you're shooting this special for Netflix or whatever.
So you've got 300 people in on this joke.
More. And I'll tell you why there's more in on it. So everybody in the audience is in on it. You're in on it. And then for like 3 or 4 blocks in the perimeter, all those people are in on it too.
Oh my God.
This would somehow
It's a Truman Show type scale.
This would somehow require her phone to not be working because she would probably call 911. We can't have her doing
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what happens is at some point during your performance, you just pass out. And then she looks around and every single person in the crowd is passed out too.
Oh my God.
She then runs out hectically looking for help and she sees the cars on the street and everybody in the cars is passed out too. So now she just thinks that everyone on earth is passed out except for her.
Okay. So, whoa.
Is that not hilarious?
Well,
I don't know how you'd capture it. I don't know why you do that to someone, but like that's
yeah, this is all right. I hate to be like the guy who, denied Santa, but one, you wouldn't get to witness her reaction.
well, what if we place hidden cameras everywhere?
Okay. Number one. Number two, why does it need to be a comedy special?
It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be any. That was just an example.
Why does it even need to be a performance? Why wouldn't you just why don't you just get like a flash mob to do this?
That's interesting, for sure. There's something dramatic about an entire theater. Do you remember there was the thing in Russia where like those Chechens, they took a theater hostage.
Yes, I do remember
And
that.
They gassed everybody. They gassed them, but then they ended up gassing the entire audience too.
Yeah.
So this idea of a giant theater with everybody passed out in it, to me, has like this.
And wasn't it Putin who had rallied them secretly?
I don't think so, but maybe.
No?
I don't know if I missed that.
And then
element
he
of it.
used it as a way of invading Chechnya.
I think there was like a series of events that maybe led to that, but I don't think that he may have. I don't know. I may have missed that.
I
part.
could have that wrong. I
You
mean,
might
I
be right.
remember reading a lot about that in From Russia with Blood, which is a great book.
That's
But
like that first scene in Tenet too.
And I know, and I think
Yeah.
that they got it from
really
that.
cool scene.
I think they got
That
it from.
makes
I forget
sense.
what it was called. Nordost.
Did
was
you
the
watch?
theater.
Did you watch Tenet?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
I loved it.
I love
How
it.
many times have you seen it?
like 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I tried to watch it and
Yeah.
I felt like the dumbest person alive.
It
Yeah.
absolutely requires a second.
And watch it with subtitles.
You need a second watch minimum.
It felt like someone smart was trying to be confusing to make me feel dumb, and I resented them for it.
And that's why everyone hates it.
Nah, it's awesome.
Because
dude.
I know what I'm capable of understanding.
Yeah,
I'm
You're
not
so
dumb.
You're
confusing.
capable of understanding it. It's a little bit of like mind fuckery, and it's like kind of like a mind blown situation. You gotta, but dude, picture it like it's the Titanic 2-disc box set, but you're just watching the same movie twice. It's a minimum 2-watch movie.
Fair enough.
Because then, literally, like the second you started for the second watch, you're like, oh, what
You
the
already
fuck?
start noticing.
You
what things
immediately are like, whoa, immediately,
Okay. All right. Got it.
whatever.
Good to know.
Another large scale prank that I've considered: a comedian thinking that they killed so hard that they killed someone in the audience. And then the cops show up and arrest them. They're like, you're going, sorry, like put your hands behind your back. They're like, I didn't do it. They're like, sir, like we've been told that your laughter,
That's pretty good.
your jokes. So
That's pretty good.
I thought about doing that to Danny Palmer, but then I'm like, the police thing makes it get a little like illegal and murky.
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
We've fucked with Danny enough. But dude, I don't know. I really like the idea of it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, let me I want to sort of just read something, a really cool DM I
How
got.
about the birth?
Yeah,
combo?
from a guy who was commenting on because we talked about birth and how little we know about all that. And this guy was really great. He said, in reference to the pod's convo about childbirth, I'm lucky to have a 5-month-old daughter. She was in breech position. We talked about that.
Is that like when your head is first?
It's when the head up, feet down by the birthing canal.
Oh, right.
She was in breech from the get-go, and she never turned. Therefore, we had planned a C-section here in Prague.
Cool.
Despite the C-section, my wife was given an epidural and was fully conscious during the entire procedure, with me sitting by her shoulders, head. There was a huge cloth at her upper chest, shielding us from seeing anything that was going on. I'm sure you'll get a ton of insight on the topic, but sharing is caring. Have a great day. And speaking from the trivial male perspective in such a situation, boy, is the C-section a blessing. Was like checking into a hotel, except you check out with an additional human. No, this is great. No 15 hours of arduous labor or going through the 101 different variables or options en route to a vaginal birth. Of course, there are pros and cons to each. That's just my 2 cents.
Dude, I got the exact same message from somebody else. With
Really?
all the exact same details. The feet first thing, how the C-section is the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. Crazy.
Now, I have a couple thoughts. I got another DM from someone who said they did C-section, but they did epidural, so they were conscious for the whole thing. And they used a clear sheet so that they could see the whole thing.
Oh, that's fun.
I guess.
Cutting, when it comes to that,
I think
you
for
lose
me,
me a bit there.
if I were awake and watching a procedure, I don't think I could do it.
yeah, I don't think I could with.
I wouldn't be able to see it, even if I couldn't feel it.
I agree.
That's too oof,
Yeah.
spooky for me. But here's the other thing that I've heard, right? And I think I said this. I know there are women, mothers that really desire a vaginal birth, because I don't know, it's like the traditional way, or it's the way that
Right.
you hear,
Natural, whatever.
and something about feeling more connected, I guess, to the kid. I think it's easy, probably from the male detached, uninvolved perspective that we have, to say, well, why would you ever not want to just do a C-section? It's the easiest it's so easy.
Yeah.
But I do know that there are women that hope that they can do a vaginal birth, and if only as a last resort would they want to do the C-section. So it's interesting to hear. I mean, I am very glad to hear too that obviously everyone's first priority is just a healthy delivery, safety of the baby, all of that. But
and the mother.
To me, from the male ignorant perspective, I just think a doctor being like, yeah, you can try to push this baby out of your body, out of a hole that is 1/100th the size of its head, in screaming pain over the course of 15 hours, or we can, give you a little
break,
a little pill or a cocktail of whatever, and do a quick incision that will be hidden beneath your bikini line, and you'll wake up with a baby in your arms, or we'll hand you the baby with no pain at all.
Right.
And it just seems that to me seems very black and white, but I'd be interested from a woman's perspective why a vaginal birth is desired in some senses.
Interesting. That's a good question. Guys, we just want to take a moment to make sure that you all are taking care of your mental health. I know it's become sort of a popular conversation topic these days, and for a reason. It's important to try to feel good if you can, and I feel like it's a bit of a process, Francis. I feel like you'd agree with that. Just kind of keeping yourself in your best form. We know that there are some stigmas associated with getting therapy or, quote, getting help. But to be honest, dude, I feel like every single person can benefit from a little time in the chair. I remember when I started going, I didn't even want to necessarily be there originally. I went because my insurance, in order to get my ADD medicine, they required that I also go to seek therapy. And I went for the ADD meds and stayed for the therapy, as they say. It became a wonderful exercise. And we love it, dude. So anyway, Talkspace is great. It's a great way to access a licensed therapist from any mobile device, computer or whatever. Have your therapist available on a screen, 24-hour availability. You can message them at all times. It's a very modern, cool, uninvasive way to seek therapy out. It puts you in a private room with just you and your therapist. You can send messages, like I said, 24/7. And Talkspace's encryption and added security features keep your conversation fully protected. Which, by the way, that's the idea. That's funny. Like someone's trying to hack into your. So hopefully nobody's doing that. But in case that is a worry that you have, then do not fear, because Talkspace has got you covered. So don't leave your mental health to chance or the amateur advice of some well-meaning friends and family. Talk to someone who's trained to help you make lasting progress. Join Talkspace today and start moving forward with a single message. Just visit Talkspace.com. Get $100 off your first month when you use promo code OOPS at sign up. A really good deal. $100 off Talkspace.com, promo code OOPS. Well, dude, I'm happy. I'm glad you got that good message from the Czech Republic. Have you been to the Czech Republic?
No. I would like to. I've only heard amazing things about Prague as a city. I've heard it's the most beautiful city in the world.
Really? It's certainly very beautiful. I went once, dude. One of the coolest stories of my career. I booked a commercial there. So I was going, and I found out that I was doing it with one of my best friends. He had also been cast.
I think you've told this.
Yeah,
I think you've told
have,
this.
but I'm gonna. I did, yeah. But I'm not gonna get into too much detail about it because of that. But anyway, we went, we shot it. It was great, and it was actually a commercial that they shot in like 7 different cities in the world. So it made it even crazier that he and I ended up in the same place.
Wow.
As a complete coincidence.
Cool.
Anyway, I brought my girlfriend, and this is funny. This happened on the plane. So for some reason, she thought it would be funny to wear a koala costume to travel. It wasn't like a Halloween koala costume, like it was designed to be comfortable, but it was a koala outfit.
Okay.
Yes, she was dressed like a koala that goes over her head with ears.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, so we were sitting, when you fly like that for a commercial, they make you go first class, which is amazing. And she, I guess, she paid for her own flight and also was in first class, right? So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I mean, maybe this doesn't matter to the story. I think it might, but she comes up to me to like say something, and the flight attendant comes over to her and goes, let your dad read, sweetie.
Oh.
And she was so mad. And I think that like maybe they wouldn't have been so quick to pull that "it's your dad" trigger if we were in coach.
Uh-huh.
I might be wrong about that, but she was so mad, and I was like, "You're dressed like a fucking koala.
Yeah, what do you expect?
What do you expect?"
You dress like a child, you're going to get treated like a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, I always thought
That's
that was funny.
terrific.
I was like, "That's what you get for dressing like a fucking koala."
Love that.
Ridiculous. All right, so this is pretty funny. So Chris and I and Ryan had lunch after
That's right.
one of our recent episodes, and they were kind of filling me in on what they were doing for the weekend. And Chris told me something that I don't know if he realized how funny this was at the time.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to tell Francis and kind of get an update from Chris.
I mean, at this point in my life, I've accepted that you guys are better friends with each other, but also with my friends than I am.
Dude, you weren't. I would have loved for you to have joined, but you had like a meeting or something. We didn't even invite you because
We invited you.
No, I know.
We did invite him.
Yeah, we did.
I know.
yeah.
I remember. I could not. I was a crisis moment.
That's very funny, dude. Okay, well, anyway, so Chris is telling me the story. So Chris, and I feel like we've sort of talked about this a little bit with people who've asked us about how to. This is basically the prototype for how you should handle a situation like this, especially if you're younger. So Chris likes this girl. I don't know what the update is with that. And he decided to throw a party to give himself an opportunity to kind of like make his best showing and take a good crack at her.
Nice.
Which I
nice.
think is a great move.
Throw a party at your apartment? Nice. Okay.
So he's like, all right. So I tell her, I'm like, I'm having a party on Friday. And I don't know if she initially said she could make it and then said she couldn't or something. But eventually it ended up becoming clear because she told him, I can't make it to the party.
Oh, that's tough.
But now Chris is like,
yeah, it was tough.
I guess I just got to have a party now. Because if I don't, she'll be like, I thought he was having a party. Like if he's not gramming himself having a party, she'll know. And then that'll suck. So then Chris had to he ended up getting bailed out because he got a cool work opportunity, which actually that was nice karma for you, Chris.
Nice.
But I was like, maybe you have something to say to weigh in here.
Yeah, no, it all worked out. I got to have a good night.
Did you have a party?
No, I went to go to Atlantic City with Ricky to shoot for him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
nice.
so it was a great night, and I got to do cool stuff and cancel for a good reason.
Yeah, you got to like. It would be very easy to deduce when Chris is posting pictures of those other like cool comics, and it was like this big whatever. So it would be like, oh, I guess his work. Man, he's such a hard worker. That's so hot, man. Oh, you got to make sacrifices to be great.
Dude, it's so funny I mean, the things that we do, like
It's
to throw
crazy.
a party for the sole purpose of one girl, like showing up. 'Cause
That's some Truman Show
I
shit,
used to
dude.
do that kind of shit all the time.
Gotta do what you gotta
You
do.
know, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta put your best foot forward.
It's so good.
And it's a really good theme when it comes to if you want to make your best impression with somebody new, it's really nice to have them in your familiar
home.
territory.
Yeah, and you can, sort of put out nice decorations or have good food, good booze. Being a host is a position
Aphrodisiac.
of being you're bouncing around the party. You're the center of
Right.
sort of the heartbeat of everything, and I think people can be very attracted to the host.
You know everybody, and you give them context for how cool you are.
Yeah, there you go.
You get to see they get to get this sort of like good impression of you.
Yeah, because she'll be talking to someone, and then that person will be like, man, I have not gone 8 minutes without Chris bringing me that bowl of chips and guac and saying, like, want some chips and guac. And
Can I get anybody anything?
Yeah. And everyone will be like, God, Chris is such a good guy. This place is sick. Can you believe that he got neon lights done that say like "Surfs Up, dude" here in Greenpoint?
This is turning into Francis
Where did he
roasting
get that?
Chris.
No, it's not.
I'm joking.
I honor him. I can only imagine how cool the party was. I wish I'd been invited.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen, bro.
Well, I wouldn't have been invited anyway.
All right, well, it didn't happen. So
Well, dude, yeah, I love the idea. They're like, wow, Chris is such a good host. He must come from a great family. He's so loved. Like, look, only a person who's loved can love others this much.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Good
Well,
stuff.
that's Oops the podcast, everyone. We love you so much. Send any thoughts, tips, piece of information that we need to hear to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website for upcoming live shows or whatever. Oops the Podcast. You know where to find us.
Yeah, and we'll see you this week at City Winery.
That's it, man.
Presented by Stuart Spiked.
Hell yeah.
We're super psyched. There's going to be goodies for everybody. It's funny. This is almost turning into like a fucking auction with the amount of shit we have to give away.
That's right.
An auction where there's no money exchange required to get the stuff. So we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon,
excited.
and thank you guys so much. Have a good week.